Hello, this is Professor Warsi. Before we begin today, I want to dedicate this lesson to Tierno. So Tierno, if you're watching this, thank you so much for recommending that I create lessons on pronunciation. This lesson is about intonation in English. Now, this is the first in a series of pronunciation lessons, and it's different in the sense that because it's about pronunciation, I need you to repeat after me. So I will say sentences out loud, and I need you to repeat so that you can use a rising or falling intonation properly. Okay? So let's begin. I've given you a couple of examples, like yes, no questions. The intonation rises, like, are you hungry? Or in a tag question. She's not from Sweden, is she? Is she? That's a question. So we will learn intonation today, a very important part of learning the English language. All right, so let's begin. What is intonation? Intonation is the rise and fall of pitch in speech. So as people speak, they use either a rising or a falling intonation or both. So what's the purpose of learning this? Why is it important to learn intonation in English? It is important because depending on the pitch, either rising or falling, the meaning can change. Somebody's ideas or a theme or a concept can change. Questions, statements, they can change the meaning. Look at the examples below. Are you going to the party? So the pitch is rising, and that makes it a question. It's a yes-no question. Are you going to the party? No, I'm not. Yes, I am. And if it's a statement, you already know that somebody is going to the party, then you do not use a rising intonation, you use a falling intonation. You say, oh, so you're going to the party. You're going to the party. Are you going to the party? Are you repeating these sentences after me? It's important, so you practice intonation. Okay, so there are 3 types of intonation patterns. You already learned that there is a rising intonation, as in yes, no questions. Right? Are you coming? Are you coming with me? Are you going out tonight? And there is a falling intonation. So practice saying these sentences after me. I'm going to the store. Where are you going? I'm going to the store. Do you need anything? Do you need anything? Did you notice a change in the intonation? I'm going to the store. Falling intonation. Do you need anything? Rising intonation, right? Why didn't you call me? Why didn't you call me? I was waiting for your call. Where are you? Where are you? Do you notice a falling intonation at the end of the sentences? Okay, the third type is a fall-rise intonation. So in some sentences, we use both falling and rising intonation patterns, right? Could you help me, please? Could you help me? Could you help me? Okay? These red apples falling are more delicious than the green ones. These red apples falling are more delicious than the green ones. Okay? So let's study each type in detail. A rising intonation. It's used in questions and when somebody is not sure. Yes, no questions. Is she coming to the party? So I'm repeating some of the examples to make sure that you understand this lesson correctly. Do you like pizza? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Do you like pizza? So keep practicing saying these sentences and follow me. When a person is not sure, right, or an idea is incomplete, so I'm not sure if he will. So let's say somebody asks you, do you know if Peter is coming to the party? And you do not know. In that case, you say, I don't know. I'm not sure if he will. Rising intonation. I'm not sure if he will. Or when you're surprised, right? Or you find something unbelievable, you say, really? Wow, when did that happen? Really? Or somebody says something unbelievable, and you say you're shocked or you're surprised. In that case, you use a rising intonation. You say, you did what? Okay? So that was a rising intonation. Now let's study a falling intonation. A falling intonation is usually used in statements and commands. So when you're making a simple statement, it's not a question. You say, where do you live? See, that's a rising intonation. Where do you live, Cindy? I live in New York. I live in New York. Pitch falls at the end, right? Or she's very talented. Or my student is very intelligent. There is a type of questions in English that are called what questions or WH questions, right? These questions begin with a what word, as in where, when, why, what. Where is the station? Where is the post office? Where is the post office? Okay. What time does the movie start? What time does the movie start? Falling. Right? I'll say it one more time. Where is the station? What time does the movie start? Falling intonation. When you ask somebody to do something with authority or even a request, you say, close the door, please. Close the door. Close the door. Or to be polite, you can say, close the door, please. Open the window, please. Right? Okay. So that's a falling intonation. When you're surprised, as we studied, you can say, that's amazing. Wow, you did that? That's amazing. Or you look out the window and it's a beautiful sunny day. You say, what a beautiful day. Pitch falls at the end. What a beautiful day. Okay? Now the third type is a fall-rise intonation, in which speakers use both a falling and a rising intonation. So when you make a polite request, you ask somebody to do you a favor. Say, hey, could you pass the salt, please? Could you pass the salt, please? Salt, falling, and please, rising, right? Would you mind helping me? Would you mind helping me? Helping, falling, me, rising. Okay? When you are not sure, we just learned an example, right? I'm not sure if he will. I think I might go. So the speaker is not sure if she or he will go to a party or to the movies. I think I might go. Okay? I'm not sure if I can make it. I'm not sure if I can make it. I'm not sure if I can make it. Okay? And when you contrast two things, like the example we saw earlier, red apples and green apples, I like the blue ones, but I prefer the red one. You see, the first time blue one, the intonation is falling, and the second time, but I prefer the red one, the intonation rises. Okay. Now, that was an example of a rising and falling intonation. Now, let's learn rising and falling intonation, in which the intonation rises first and then it falls. So, for a strong emphasis, when you want to stress something, it's really important, for example, to say, let's say you went to a show, a live show, and you saw a person dance, and you said, this is absolutely amazing. This is absolutely amazing, right? Or you can say, I ask you so. I ask you so. Exclamation of something like a wonderful performance. So you say, I saw a great performance, for example. Okay, so that's a rising and falling intonation. I hope you're saying these sentences along. So keep practicing. Intonation is sometimes hard to learn and use in sentences. If improper intonation is used, sometimes native speakers of English can be confused. They'll say, are you asking me a question or are you telling me something? So there is a difference between asking questions and making a statement. All right? Okay. Level intonation. Sometimes intonation is flat. Why? Because it's a simple statement. There is no rising or falling intonation. Okay? I'm going to the store. I'm going to the store. Or somebody asks you, what's your name? And I will say, my name is Professor Warsi. My name is Professor Warsi. So intonation is neutral. Okay? I don't know. When you're not sure. Or you're not interested in something. I'm not going to go. I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, whatever. Yeah, whatever. So these are neutral intonation patterns. All right? Moving on. Upward intonation in short responses. You know how sometimes people say, okay? Okay, so we're going to do this today. We're going to write a summary, okay? I use this intonation all the time when I teach my students. Okay? Yeah? When you're asking for confirmation, right? For example, let's say you are asking somebody about going out to dinner. So we're going out to dinner tonight. Yeah? Yeah? So you're asking for confirmation. The person may say, yes, we are. Or I say, okay, when I speak to my students. All right, so you understand this, okay? Or we will write a first draft now, okay? And the student says, yes. So they understand that I'm asking them to do something. Okay, downward intonation in short responses. So we learn upward intonation in short response, like yeah, okay. Sometimes we use a downward intonation to agree with something. Okay? For example, you say, yes. Yes. Do you like the lecture? Yes, I did. Or, no, I didn't. I was bored. It was a very boring lecture. Or just, all right, we will do it. A firm agreement. So pitch falls at the end. Okay. So are you following everything? I hope you are. As always, if you have any questions, you can always ask me, right? Write your questions in the comment box. Tag questions. What are tag questions, you ask? They are attached to the end of a sentence in a question form. So, you're coming to the party, aren't you? Now, you ask aren't you because you do not know if the person is coming to the party or not. You're coming to the party, aren't you? Likewise, a following intonation is used when the person is sure. So they're asking a tag question, but they already know that something happened for sure. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Isn't it? So this person is not looking for an answer. Okay, the speaker is simply using a following statement intonation because the speaker is sure. It's a beautiful day, isn't it? Following intonation. All right? Now, for emphasis, we learn a couple of just one-word expressions such as yeah or okay. But in this case, let's study using contrastive stress. So if you're comparing two things, I want the red one, like this lady in red, not the blue one. I want the red one. There are two choices, and you prefer the red one. She did go to the party for emphasis. Let's say a person says to you, Helen didn't come to the party, and you happen to be at the party and you saw Helen. It's like, no, she did go to the party for emphasis. Okay. If you watch the news on TV, you can hear the reporter emphasizing headlines. So they may say, breaking news, or good evening, this is Tom. Today I have an exclusive interview with the president. Exclusive interview with the president. So exclusive is stressed. All right. Intonation statements. This is usually a falling intonation. I have a new job. I have a new job, falling at the end. It's a beautiful day, falling at the end. Okay? So, we have learned quite a bit today. Let's do some exercises. So, this is the first exercise. I need you to say these sentences. Okay? I will not say it for you, because otherwise you will know how to use the correct intonation. But I am sure that you will do it right. So let's do the exercise, and I'll show you the answer. Okay, so the answer is B. She went to the cinema. She went to the cinema. Did you do it right? Did you use the right intonation? Okay. Now, intonation in yes, no question. Now I'm going over each type in detail. You already know because I explained to you what yes, no questions are. Are you coming? Yes, I am. No, I'm not. So, what do we do in this case? Yes, no questions are asked with a rising intonation. Is it cold outside? Is it cold outside? Do you know what the weather is like today? What's the weather like? Rising intonation. Okay, here we go. One more exercise for you. There'll be more, but let's do this for now. Say the sentence and then choose one of two answers. Is the intonation rising or falling? Okay, did you use the correct intonation? Do you like ice cream? Remember, it's a yes, no question. So the intonation should be rising. Do you like ice cream? Okay, so WH questions, they are, the WH words or wh words are where, what, when. How is also called a WH word. Why, who, whose, which, whom. So practice these. I'm not going to say these sentences for you because you need to practice. Practice these and the words in green. Make sure that you say them with a rising intonation. Or is it rising or falling? What do you think? That was a trick question, right? Unlike yes, no questions, I need you to remember this. This is important. Unlike the yes, no questions, WH questions are asked with a falling intonation. Okay? Where are you from? What's your name? When are you leaving? How are you going to do this? How are you going to do that? Okay? Why are you looking at me? So keep practicing all of them. I'm not going to go over each and every one of them. Practice saying these sentences with the correct intonation, which is falling. Okay. Moving along. When you ask somebody to do something for you, okay? It doesn't necessarily have to be a command. It may be a request. For example, close the door. Close the door, please. Open the window, please. Or listen to me. Listen to me. If somebody is not paying attention and you're speaking to them, you can say, listen to me. Give me a glass of water. And people do this when they go to a restaurant. They ask the server, excuse me, can I have a glass of water, please? Can I have a glass of water? Do your homework. I say this to my students all the time. I'll say, do your homework, please. Your mom could say, if you're still young, your mom can say, brush your teeth before you go to bed. Brush your teeth before you go to bed. Or if you are a parent, you can ask your children to brush their teeth. Write a paragraph about happiness. So these are commands or requests asking people a favor, and they are said with a falling intonation. Okay? All right. So the role of intonation in expressing emotions, such as, a surprise or in disbelief or when you are shocked. Let's say someone won the lottery. They won like $2 million. And now you're excited and very happy for them. You're saying, you won the lottery? Rising intonation. Okay? Calmness, certainty, or finality, you use the falling intonation, like, I'm not sure. Exercise. Read the following and use the correct intonation. Okay. Now, falling and rising intonation for uncertainty when you are being polite. I'm not sure, for example. You say, I'm not sure, but I think she's coming to the party. Uncertainty. I think she's coming to the party. Or, could you help me, please? Let's do this exercise. I will say this sentence for you, and you choose one of three, either rising, falling, or fall rise. Okay? So I'll say for you first time, could you help me with this? One more time. Could you help me with this? Fall, rise. Did you get that right? I said, could you help, could you help me with this, and not, could you help me with this? That would be wrong, right? Could you help me with this? Falling and rising intonation. Okay. Contrasting, we learned this a little bit earlier, but just to reinforce, let's do it one more time, a falling and rising intonation. I like ice cream. I like ice cream, but I prefer cake. Going up, rising. I like ice cream, but I prefer cake. He's my friend. He's my friend, not my brother. He's my friend, not my brother. Let's say you're talking to a person and somebody thinks he's your brother. You say, oh, is that your brother? No, he's not. He's my friend, not my brother. Okay. So which of these two sentences show a contrast? Okay, do the exercise before we move on. The first sentence is a contrast, right? I'm tired, but I'll keep going. I'm tired, but I'll keep going. So there are two things there, being tired and keep going. Okay, let's do one more exercise. We're making progress, right? We are more than halfway through. Read the sentence below, sentences actually, 1, 2, 3, 4, there are 4, and identify the correct intonation pattern. Is it rising, falling, or fall, rise? Okay, so do this exercise. You should probably pause the video and then complete the exercise. Okay? All right. All right, how did you do? Did you do well? Here are the answers. Now that you know the answers, I need you to go back and say each sentence with the correct intonation. Okay, the number 1 is rising, number 2 is fall, rise, number 3 is fall, rise, and number 4 is falling. It's raining outside. So keep practicing. It's very important for you to practice saying these sentences, all of them. Okay, intonation in meaning. So as I said very early on, I think when I started the lesson, I said that intonation can change the meaning. It affects the meaning, right? So the same sentence can be said differently, two different ways. One with a rising intonation and another with a falling intonation. Each of the words are exactly the same, right? You're coming to Agra? Okay, that's a question. You can say, are you coming to Agra? But sometimes native speakers could say, you're coming to Agra? Right? Or you're from India? They're not sure if this person is from Pakistan or Bangladesh or Malaysia. He's saying, are you from India? Oh, you're from India? But the same sentence can be said with a falling intonation, as in, you're coming to Agra. This time, the person knows, right, that someone is coming to Agra. So they do not use a rising intonation. Okay? You're coming to Agra. You're coming to Agra. You notice the difference between the two sentences? The first one is asked with a rising intonation, and the second one is asked with a falling intonation. You're coming to Agra. So try to find two sentences, or maybe even make up two sentences, right? Or listen to two recordings of the same sentence, and then practice using both rising and falling intonation. All right? Very good. Okay, we are getting closer to the end of this lesson. Need you to do this quiz. All right, there are two questions. Which intonation pattern is used in a yes-no question? And which intonation pattern is used in a statement? Okay, let's see if you've learned everything correctly so far. You should get the answers right. They're not hard. These questions are rather easy. Okay, so I hope you did well. The first one is A, so rising. Yes, no questions are used with rising intonation, remember? And in the statements, we use a falling intonation. Yeah? I'm from New York. I'm from New York. Falling. Let's take another quiz. All right? True or false? Read the 4 statements and determine if it's a false statement or if it's a true statement. Okay? Pause the video and do this exercise. Now I'll show you the answers as I always do. Okay, so number 1 is false, number 2 is true, number 3 is true, and number 4 is also true. Okay, very good. That was a true and false exercise. I need you to record yourself. Sometimes, we do not know how we sound, how other people hear us. So record yourself and say these sentences and then play your recording. So listen and identify the intonation pattern for each. Okay, the first one is a what question. The second one is a statement. I'm helping you with this. And the third one is asking a favor. All right, so try recording yourself. Say all 3 sentences, but don't stop there. You should keep recording yourself and ask questions, make statements, and that way you will practice using the right intonation. Okay, so let's summarize. You've gotten this far. So thank you for being patient. I know this was a long lesson. Let's summarize what we learned today. We learned that intonation is very, very important for communication. Using the wrong intonation can alter the meaning. It will confuse the listener. So we learned that there's a rising intonation, there's a falling intonation, a falling and rising intonation, level intonation, rising, falling, and then so on and so forth, right? There's upward movement and downward intonation. We also learned tag questions in English, like, she is really intelligent, isn't she? Right? Or when we contrast 2 things, like, these red apples are more delicious than the green ones. Okay? And for prominence and stress, like, exciting news or breaking news, or an exclusive interview with the president. Okay, so we have covered a lot. Let's just quickly conclude this lesson. Intonation is an essential part, and I must say it's a very important part of communication in English. So if you want to become a proficient speaker, a fluent speaker, you need to learn how to use the correct intonation pattern. Okay, so practice intonation, record yourself. Also, make friends with native speakers of English wherever you are and listen to them very carefully. Sometimes even practice, because speaking and pronunciation are very different than learning grammar, right? Intonation is a key feature of natural English speech. When people speak, they don't speak the way they write. Because when they write, they don't speak. So it's a very important feature of natural English speech. Okay, very good. If you have any questions, let's discuss them. I look forward to hearing from you. Please be sure to ask questions and continue to take lessons. Tierno, again, I thank you very much for recommending that I, create lessons on pronunciation. I know it's taken me a while because I was trying to cover the fundamentals. I finished all parts of speech. I strongly recommend that you continue to take lessons with me. Any requests, please ask. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Bye.